Hello, in today's session we will see how to create a data box using a Neumann platform. The data box is a main element in Neumann platform where the data engineer can do two things: describe the relationship between multiple data sets defining the foreign keys, and the second, designs calculated fields and aggregations that can be complex, which means involving multiple data sources. So it allows query optimization at runtime. It includes only the requested fields and the related data sources. So in our last session, we have uploaded a file and now we have a new data source called SKN training, where it contains 4 data sets. Now, to create a new data box, I can locate a certain data set and I can just click on new data box, or using the menu, design and create new data box. For now, I will position myself on a certain data set, which is TRXC, and I will click on new data box. So by default, the data box will be created while selecting all the data sets included in the all the fields included in the data set TRXC. Now, for me, the fields in TRXC are not enough. I need more info. For example, for the city, if I will do a view data, I see that the city and the company displays the code of the company and the code of the city, which is meaningless for the user. Therefore, I will enter the city, and here, instead of field type measure, I will select foreign, convert to foreign, and will select the data source and the city. And for now, the ID of the city will have as display the name of the city, convert to foreign, and now I have the city displaying a foreign key, which means that the ID, once used, will display the name of the city instead of the ID. And I will do the same for the company. Instead of measure, I will do foreign, convert to foreign. I select the corresponding data source. Now the company and the company name will be selected. Now I can edit the fields. I have 3 fields amount. For now, I only need 1, so I will delete 2. Okay. And I need to add, in addition to the transaction data set, I need, for example, to add a new box coming from a data set from the same data source, but now coming from customer. Okay, and the join will be customer, since the customer in TRX is the customer ID, and I will select the ID from the customer. So in TRX, I have a join between main box, which is TRXC. I will be using the customer ID, and the detailed data set will be the customer D, where I will be using the customer ID from customer D. So I will say, okay, now I need to select the fields. For now, I will just select the email address. Okay. Now, if I will do a view data, I can see that I have all the fields in my TRXC, which is the transaction. And instead of having the city ID, I will have the city name, and instead of having the company ID, I will have the company name. In addition, I will have the email of the customer. Now, I have a concern. When was the first transaction done in a certain company? So for this, I will go to transaction, I will add a box, but now I will add a subquery and then a data set, selecting the transaction and I will select the company and the date. But for me, I need the first transaction done for this company. Therefore, I will put on the not on the field type, on the aggregation, I will use the minimum. So here I will rename it min date, and I will, so that I know it's the comp min date. I go back. Here I must select the company and here the company. Okay, and for this subquery I only need the date related to the company. And now I could rename this box subquery trx company min date. Okay, now I go back to transaction. I need the same for the city, but now I need the last transaction done for a certain city. So that's why I will add a new box, a subquery, dataset, and use the transaction, but now I will use the city and the date. And for that, I need the max date, because I need the last date, the last transaction date done for a certain city. And here I will say city max date. I will go back and the join will be city and city. And here I will call it, the box name will be subquery trx c city max date. Okay, and now I will only select the date. Now I will view the data of the whole data box. I can see that I have the amount, the date of the transaction, the customer that have done with his email, the company name, the city. But now, for example, for the company Neumann, the first transaction done for Neumann has a date equal to 29/2/2000, which means in February. Okay, for Amplify company I have the 31/05. I can see for other companies. I can click here to have more results. For Roxana I have 31/7/2000. You can see that for a certain company I have the same date. As for the city, let's take Beirut. The max date was 27/5/2021. So let's search for another Beirut. I have the same date. For another Beirut, the same date. And for Tripoli, for example, I have 23/06/2021. Let's see here the same. So I save it. I will say the box transaction 1. Save and close. Now I go to Databox, View, and I can see that I have my corresponding data. I will close it, and this will conclude our session for today. Thank you.